Hey everybody, it's Glidercat and it's time to play. Today, we're playing Factory Town. In this video, we're going to walk through the first of 8 campaigns available in the game. And the campaigns kind of double as tutorials, and they do a really good job of introducing the game's mechanics and getting you started. I'll post videos for at least the first 3 campaigns, which should give you a really good picture of what this game's all about. If there's sufficient interest, I can put together more videos, so we'll just see how that goes. But at least I'm going to do those first 3. If you haven't picked up the game yet, these videos will give you a pretty good idea of what the game's all about, so you can decide if it's something you might want to pick up on a sale. I also have a video of my overall review of the game, and I'll put a link to that in the description if you want to check that out. So enough of the chit chat and intro, let's get to gaming. Okay, now to get started, we'll select New Game. And you can see there's a sandbox option or custom, but we're going to pick campaign. And there's our 8 campaigns. We'll choose level 1. And off we go. Here we go. The map is generating. And we can see we've got, looks like 5 little people down there. And it's going to kind of spin around and show us the lay of the land. And the tutorial will start. Hey, a few settlers have founded a small village in the wilderness. Help it grow into a larger town by gathering resources, crafting useful goods, and building houses. All right, seems straightforward. I'm going to back up with the scroll wheel here. You can just see the size of the map. So it's not, this one's not huge. They do get bigger. But this little tutorial is going to walk us through some of the very basics of the game. You can use the right mouse button. If you hold it down and scroll around, that'll allow you to change your angle of view, and then we use the scroll wheel if you want to zoom in. So let's do that, and then I'm just going to mouse over to the side to scroll to the side. And let's start. Gather wood. To build and expand your town, you will need to collect lots of resources. First, start off by gathering wood. Left-click to select a worker. Right-click on a tree to target it for harvesting, and then right-click on your base to assign as a drop-off location. The worker will chop wood from the tree, bring it back to the base, and repeat. Collect 15 wood. Okay, this is a little bit unique how you move the characters in this game. So it is like a 3-click kind of process here. So I'm going to left-click on the worker, right-click on where I want them to go get, and what resource I want them to get. And then right now I don't have anything clicked, and I have to pick the path where I want this person to drop off the goods that they're picking up. So I will right click here, and now that guy's going to start chopping trees down. So I've got 4 other workers here. Let's get 2 doing the wood. So same thing, I just left click, then a right click, and then a right click, left click, right click, right click. We'll get that guy to do some stone. And then these 2 guys, and I'll explain this a little bit later. This one I'm going to have over here collecting grain. So left click, right click, and we'll drop it off at the house. And then I see some potatoes over here. We'll have this guy collect the potatoes. Left click, right click, and right click. And we'll get into more detail about what the grain and potatoes and why I have a guy doing stone. But right now the tutorial wants us to collect wood. Up here in the top left, you'll see kind of a summary of the inventory, and this will grow as we produce more products and collect more products. But we've got 24 wood collected, and you can see we're collecting stone. We don't have any planks or stone brick or wooden wheels. So let's move the tutorial forward. We'll just click the checkbox here. Boom. Now build a house. Houses increase your population limit, allowing you to create more workers and buildings. Open the build menu, select buildings, select house, and left click to place the building. Okay, so right now you can see if we look at this top left menu, it shows what our current level is of our base, and then it shows how many houses we have and how many we're allowed to build. So it looks like we're allowed to build 1 more house. We have 3, 1, 2, 3. And then this shows our workers. So right now we have 5 doing work, collecting the resources, and we can hire 5 more, it looks like. And then happiness, it says happiness is earned by keeping the houses well supplied with a variety of goods. It also provides a global production speed multiplier. So right now our happiness is at 6. And the reason we have any happiness at all is because of the worker that I have going and bringing these potatoes to the houses, and this other worker here bringing grain to the houses. So you can see as they're delivering these products, there's a little gold coin that comes up. So we're earning these coins as we deliver resources to the houses. The houses then consume them and those resources, and that increases the happiness. So we'll get into that later too. But right now we need to build, let's see, build a house. We can build one more. So we'll go to the menu, build, buildings, house, and we will drop a house down right across from this one. Boom. All right. And I'm just hitting escape to clear the build menu. Okay, so we're done with that. And now you can see we built the fourth house and it gave us 2 more workers that we're allowed to hire. So let's move the tutorial forward. Okay, create workers. The house has increased your population limit. Now you can build more workers to harvest and deliver goods from one building to another. So open the build menu, select workers, worker, and then place 2 workers near your house. So here's our build menu, build. And yes, for people, you actually go into the build menu, which is kind of strange. But let's click on that. So I just left click once, and then I'll drop one here. Boom, left click, boom, left click. And I've actually got more, right? I've got 5 more I can drop. I'm going to drop 2 more just to move things along quicker. And let's see. So we built our workers. They're happy about that. And right now these guys are just sitting there with nothing to do. But let's move the tutorial forward and see what we get. Build path. Okay, workers move much faster on paths. Open the build menu, select paths, select footpath, and then click or drag to draw paths on worker routes. So what they're getting at here is these workers that are traveling to the resources on these paths, they move faster. It's not a whole lot faster, but it's faster than, say, this guy is able to move just coming down through the grass here. So in order to build a path, same kind of thing. Build menu, paths. You can see later we're going to get to be able to build roads and chutes. But for now, all we've got is footpath, and it costs 1 wood. Looks like we've got plenty of wood. So I'm going to grab that. And now it's just a click and drag. And since this guy seems to be going in kind of a circle, like this guy, I'm going to put a path down here, just like that. And so that was just a left click, drag, and then let up. And then I'm going to hit escape to clear the build menu. And now you can see this worker is using the path and moving a little faster. These 4 workers are sitting here doing nothing. So while we're here, why don't we just left click, right click, right click, left click. Maybe you can get some of these trees. Right click, and then let's put another one on a potato. Right click, left click, right click, right click. All right. So, and these guys delivering the food to the houses will earn us some more coins. All right. So we built the path. Let's move forward. All right. Build a lumber mill. Lumber mills turn wood into planks, which you will need for many buildings and upgrades. Gather 5 stone, which we've already done. Open the build menu, buildings, select the lumber mill, and then left click. Now this says, note that production buildings require spare population capacity. If you have already reached the population limit, build more houses or delete existing workers. So we saw that when you build a new house, it increases the number of workers that you can hire. If you're already maxed out on your workers and you can't build houses, you can always take one of these workers. So I just clicked on them. I did a left click and a right click just to send them over here. I can always select this worker and then just hit the delete key, boom. And now I just freed up a spot here. And there's no penalty for doing that. In fact, I got the money back that it costs for a worker. Like if we look and I do workers and it costs 5 yellow coins, I guess. So we'll drop one. And if we look at the money up on the top left over here, 137. If I drop it, boom, it goes to 133 because we spent the money to buy the worker. And if I click that worker and we look at the money again and I hit the delete button, boom, we get the money back. So you can always add and delete workers and you get all your money back. And I think that's the same with the houses and everything else that you build. If you do delete it, you get the resources back. So we need to build a lumber mill. Let's go into build and buildings. And it looks like, here we go, lumber mill, 5 stone and 20 wood. If I look up at the top left, we got plenty of resource. So let's build that and drop it down. Maybe makes sense to do this by the this big forest over here. So now I'm just clicking the middle mouse button, and now I'm going to right click just so I can spin this around. And let's put it right in the middle of this forest, or near this forest. And that looks good. So I'll left click to drop it. And let's see, we'll advance the tutorial because it's going to give us some more instructions here. Boom. Okay, assign the planks recipe. So production buildings often have multiple recipes, and you can choose which ones are active. So you can have more than one recipe. So these production buildings, they can build, just one thing. If I wanted just to build planks, I can select planks. I know at this stage, the lumber mill can actually build paper as well. And so we can pick what we want it to build. So I click on lumber mill. I click select recipe, and then per the tutorial here, it says select planks. I'll select planks, and that's all I need to do. Now, let's see if it tells us what to do next. All right, supply lumber mill. Bring enough wood to your lumber mill to craft a plank. Left click on a worker, right click on a tree, right click onto the lumber mill, and bring 2 wood to the lumber mill and wait for the plank to be created. So I'm going to back out. I'm going to go back to kind of the view that we had a little earlier. And I am going to drop down 2 workers to do this. So workers, worker, oop, oop, and left click, right click, right click, left click, right click, right click. Okay, so now I've got 2 workers that are taking wood directly into the lumber mill. And if I click on the lumber mill and we look at the top right, we can see that it's showing input and output. So input, as you can imagine, is like the inventory of items that are coming into the lumber mill. So in this case, it's wood. If we had, if I go down here to the bottom right and click select recipe, if I chose to make paper as well, then it would be taking water as inventory here too, but we're not doing that just yet. So this shows the items coming in. And then under output, it shows obviously the products that are being produced that are waiting to be put into storage. So once this fills up, this output inventory, it's going to stop making planks until we take those and put them somewhere. It'll keep taking new logs in till it gets to 20 and fills up that inventory. But everything's going to kind of stop if you don't have a place to put your materials that you've built. So it's probably going to tell us to do that next. So let's advance the tutorial. Boom. Collect planks. Bring the plank from the lumber mill to your base to add it to your inventory. Okay, so this is the same kind of thing. I'm going to grab another worker because I've got a few, and I can use this hotbar too. Boop, boop, boop. All right. And I'm going to have this guy come in. I left click on my worker. I hover over the lumber mill, and I've got a couple options here. This is the inputs. If I wanted to take wood out of the lumber mill's inventory and store it, I could choose that. And that would pull out any wood that it's got sitting in its inventory that hasn't been turned into planks yet. So this icon kind of symbolizes things going into the factory, and this icon shows things coming out of the factory. So I want the planks. I'm going to right click on that resource. And now I'm just going to right click again on the base. Boom. And now we'll see how it's all backed up. So now that little worker is going to take planks out of the lumber mill and move them into my base storage. And if I click on my base, incidentally, you can see that it's starting to accumulate planks. All right, so cool. So let's advance the tutorial and see what comes next. Okay, upgrade house. Houses can be upgraded to further increase the population limit. Select a house, hit the upgrade button when you have enough resources. Okay. Upgrade actions consume items from the player's shared inventory, items stored within the base and barns. So what that little note means is just like we said, the lumber mill has 14 wood and it's got about 10 of these planks. If I go to upgrade this house. So I click on a house and I look at the bottom right and it says upgrade house, 20 coins, 5 planks. Even though the lumber mill has 10 planks here, I can't use those planks to do my upgrade. They have to actually be in the base. So the base or barns, I believe. And I'm not sure if silos are included in that or not. And we'll get to that later. But right now we've got in our base or our shared inventory, this is our shared inventory, we've got enough planks to do the upgrade. So I'll click on that, click on upgrade house, boom. And if you notice, this went from 12 workers total capacity up to 14 workers total capacity. So I can hire 2 more workers if I want, but I'm not gonna do that just yet. All right, let's move forward. Upgrade base. Your base can be upgraded to increase the house limit as well as your storage capacity. Select the base, hit the upgrade button when you have enough resources. Okay, so if I click on the base, right now that little arrow is kind of telling us, hey, you've got room to upgrade. So what it looks like now on the base, I can store up to 200 of 4 items. It looks like that's the total inventory. I've got 4 slots and they can each hold up to 200 items. So right now, my little stone workers, they're not doing anything because we're full up. But if I upgrade, I click the upgrade button, it's going to cost me 20 yellow coins, 5 planks, and 5 stone. I've got all of that. So that just did the upgrade. And it's now saying I've got 4 more houses I can build. So that just went from 4 to 8. I've got a new building called the grain mill. I've got a new building called the food market, and we'll see what those do. And then a really important building here, which is the school that's now available for us to build. So I'll just click that to move on. And let's advance the tutorial here. Build food market. Okay, markets will sell items automatically to nearby houses, making it much easier to earn coins. Open the build menu, select buildings, select food market, build a market close enough to a house that it creates a connection. Note, you can use the move tool to reposition a building that you have already built. Okay, so in the move tool, if we go here to build and tools and move tool, boom, it's just saying that you can click on a building and you just click and drag it and you can move it. And there's no cost or consequence to doing that. That's all that note means. But it wants us to build a market. So if I back up just a second here, you can see we've got these workers that are delivering potatoes to the houses. And we've got a worker over here who's delivering grain to the houses. What the market's going to allow us to do, and let's just build it. Buildings, food market. And you can see it's got an area of effect here. I'll scroll out a little bit to make that clear, but you can see there's a area of effect where it's going to be able to reach these different houses. But I believe it needs to be on a path. So I'm going to pop it right here. Boom. And now the way to use the market, I'm going to hit escape to clear that. And the way to use the market is these workers. So instead of delivering to the house, I'm going to reassign this worker to say, go collect the grain, but just bring it to the market. And then the market will automatically, can't really see it, but it'll automatically distribute that grain to the houses, whichever house needs it the most. So I'm going to do that with these other workers too. So you take your potatoes and bring them to the market. And same with this guy. Take your potatoes and bring them to the market. And you, let's see, take the potatoes and bring them to the market. And who's left here? Let's see, this guy, he's still going to houses. So you, I'm going to change you over to grain. Take the grain and bring it to the market. So you can see before these guys were all taking the food directly to the houses. Now they're all taking it to the market, but you can still see those coins are going up. And right now, our happiness, as we deliver those products, and increases the happiness in the town. Right now, that happiness is at level 8. If we get up to level 10, then we're going to get a production bonus. So we'll see how that goes. So let's keep going on the tutorial. Build the grain mill. Okay, the grain mills turn grain into flour, which can be sold for a higher price and is an ingredient in other goods. Okay, so when they say sold for a higher price, they're saying that when I deliver that flour to the market, it'll get distributed to these houses and they will pay a higher price than they're currently paying for just the grain. So let's go build a grain mill. It probably makes sense to build it somewhere near there. Let's just see. Boy, there's a bunch of grain over here too. But for now, we can always move it later. Let's go ahead and build the grain mill. Looks like it takes 10 stone and 10 planks, and we're doing fine on both of those. So let's do it. Boom. And let's put this just for tutorial purposes, because we're not going to, put too much time into planning out the ideal town layout. We're just going to kind of get through this tutorial and see how it goes. So let's just drop this near where they're collecting the grain right now. So we'll drop it. Boom. And then just like with the lumber mill, it's going to ask for a recipe. Let's see if the tutorial prompts us to pick it. If not, we'll just do it. Okay, sell flour. Now you can produce flour and sell it at the market for a lot of coins. Select the grain mill, select the flour recipe, and bring grain to the mill to produce flour, and then bring the flour to a house or the food market to sell it. And usually 99% of the time, you're going to just have your workers bring it to the market instead of trying to take it directly to a house. All right, so let's click on the grain mill. We will click select recipe down here in the bottom right, and we'll pick flour. That's the only thing this can produce right now. Okay, so now the grain mill is ready to produce flour. If you're careful and you notice when I dropped that grain mill down, it actually consumed another worker. So there is a worker in this grain mill. You can see it in the bottom right. It shows that we've got one worker. And if I wanted to speed up production, I could add another worker to that. But right now we've got these 2 workers taking grain to the food market. Let's have one of them collect grain. So I'm going to get him over here, grain, bring it to the grain mill. And I'm going to have this guy do the same thing. Collect the grain, bring it to the grain mill. And now, just like with the planks, we had to hire a worker here to take the planks from the lumber mill to the base. This time, we don't need to really store the flour that's being produced. You can see we've got 2 flour already. No real reason to store it. We're just going to send it straight to the food market to be sold. But I need a worker to do that. I've got one more worker here I can hire, so I'm going to do it. I'll click on the hotbar, pick my worker, drop him down, hit escape to clear that out. And this time, I'm going to right click on the output from the grain mill. And I'm going to right click on the food market because that's where I want him to deliver it. Boom. And now we'll see this little guy is going to pick up the flour. Oops. And as it's being produced, he'll bring it to the market. And now you can see we've got some of these 4s coming up. These gold coins 4s. So for every flour that we're delivering and selling, the houses, the village, people in the village are paying 4 coins for it. And I kind of would have expected the happiness to go up since we're providing a better product, but not yet. Okay, sell flour. Let's move the tutorial forward and see what's next. Add building worker. Okay, you can allocate spare workers to existing buildings. This will make them produce their output faster. You can increase or decrease at any time. Okay, select any production building, hit the plus button on the worker section to add a spare worker to the building. Note, set the current worker count to 0 to stop a building production entirely. So we just kind of saw that. The market, I don't think, has workers, but the grain mill does. So if I wanted to add a worker, we could do that to speed up the production. Right now, it looks like that guy is keeping up with the inventory. I've got 2 people collecting grain and it's not backing up. So I don't think I need to add the workers there. But if we go to the lumber mill, looks like that's keeping up as well. So just to satisfy the tutorial, let's go ahead. I don't have any workers left, so I'm going to drop a house down because I've got 4 houses I can build. And each new house that I build is going to give me more workers. So let's drop another house down about here. Boom. Now I've got the ability to have 2 more workers. And just for the purpose of the tutorial, let's go ahead and add a worker to each one of these buildings. So in the lumber mill, I'm going to increase it. Boom. Not much to see. It just shows that the speed is now 138%. So it doesn't double the speed with each worker, but it looks like one additional worker here increased the speed by 38%. And if I come down here, we'll notice that right now with one worker, it's 110%. And that is because that extra 10% is because we just achieved 10% happiness by delivering that flower. So now we're right at level 1. We've got 10 happiness, and that gives us a production bonus of 10%. So that's why we're seeing the 110 here. And then for the lumber mill, this is 138. So it would probably be like 120 or something without that, well, let's just do it. It's 110 with, and then the worker gets us an extra, looks like 28%. So we'll add another worker here. Boom. And so that's going to speed up. And let's move on. All right, build a school. Okay, this is an important building. The school will let you research many new buildings and useful technologies. Open the build menu and build the school. Okay. So the school. The school is basically where we're going to do a bunch of research, and the research is going to unlock a lot of new technologies and allow us to produce more advanced products, and also open up different technologies that kind of speed up how we go about delivering those products. So right now we've just got a lot of workers bouncing around, but that's actually pretty slow. Let's build the school. I'll go into buildings, school, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the school. I'm just hitting the R key to rotate it. I'm going to drop the school here, and I'm going to build a path so that workers can get there quickly. I'm just going to left click and drag that. So now I've got a path to it. The school has no workers assigned. And if I look up here, I don't have any workers available. So I got to drop down another house. Or I could upgrade a house. So there's the house level 2. Why don't we upgrade a house? So let's take this house. And if we upgrade it, cost me 20 yellow coins and 5 planks. If I upgrade it, I just got 2 new workers available. So let's assign one of them to the school. And then let's see what they want us to do next. So advanced tutorial here. Boom. Craft paper. Okay, the lumber mill produces paper. This recipe requires water. You can tell a worker to bring water from a well or place a new lumber mill next to water to automatically supply it. So select the lumber mill, select the paper, and then bring enough wood to produce a sheet of paper. So we got a couple options here. This lumber mill, if I moved it near the water, then it'll automatically take in the water that we need. If I don't move it, then I can build a well and have somebody carry water over. But that's going to use up another worker. So let's try to move this thing. I'm going to click on it, and I can't really drag it. So I have to go to the move tool, tools, and there's shortcuts for these things. I'm going to move this over. Let's see if I can get it to where it takes the water. I'm going to rotate it. Let's see. The challenge is the ground is not level there. So I think that's going to be a problem. Let's just Well, let's see what happens. So I'm going to drop it here. Hopefully that's near the water. You can see there's an area of effect here. And so I'm going to drop it right there. Boom. And these workers are who were attached to the lumber mill. They still know where to go. They're dropping the wood off. And now if I pick the recipe for paper 2, right? So now we're going to produce paper as well. And we look at the top right here on the inventory. I don't have anybody delivering water to the lumber mill, but because it's on the water or near the water, it's automatically bringing water into its inventory to produce paper. So, and if we look down at the bottom right, you'll see what it's currently producing. So it's producing planks and paper, and then you can kind of see those things getting produced. Right now, if we look at the top right, you'll see that the output inventory for paper is full. So we've got all this paper. It's not going to produce anymore until we empty the output inventory for paper. So let's do that. It looks like I've got one more worker left. So let me drop him down. Boom. And I'm going to actually advance the tutorial here because I think that's what it's going to ask us to do next. Okay, complete research. The school will need lots of paper and coins to complete the research. Select the school, hit the select recipe button and choose any research recipe. Bring the paper to the school so that it can complete research. Coins are automatically deducted from your inventory. Produce the research recipe enough times to complete the research. Okay, let's see what that all means. So here, anytime we see that question mark hovering, it's basically saying, hey, you haven't told me what to do or what you want me to produce. No, it says no recipe assigned. So we'll click that. And let's look at the recipes available. It looks like this guy automatically gets a pretty good production bonus. So based on the happiness, which is only at 10, this guy gets a 30% production bonus. So that's pretty good. So we'll select the recipe. And we've got 2 things that we can research. We got woodworking or masonry. So let's start out with, let's see, woodworking. If we hover over these icons, it'll tell us a little bit about what that research is going to get us. So if we research woodworking, it's going to unlock a barn, which is for storage. Crate is also storage. Workshop is going to allow us to produce some additional products we can't do yet. The chute is a way of doing some transportation of resources. And then we've got the fence, which I believe is just for aesthetics. And stairs are functional, and we'll see how and where those are useful. Wood bench is just for aesthetics, and wagon is another way to transport resources that's quite a bit more efficient than our little workers hopping around here. So that's woodworking. Masonry is going to unlock the stonemason building, which allows us to produce the stone bricks. It's going to unlock the road. So instead of those dirt paths, if we build road, then they'll move even faster than they do on the dirt path. Road ramp is just another way of dealing with inclines. Stone bridge, same kind of thing, just transportation. Stone pillar scaffold, we'll get into that later. And arch, we'll get into that later. And then stone bench, I believe, is just aesthetics. So either one of these is great. We're going to need them both. Let's just start with the woodworking. And if I select them both, I could say, hey, go, research both these things at the same time. But it's just going to take twice as long for us to get any of them. So might as well do one at a time, and then you'll get this faster. We can leverage the woodworking stuff while we're researching the masonry. But we'll start with the woodworking. Again, that's going to give us storage options. It's going to get us workshop, and it's going to give us the chute. So research woodworking. And then if we look at the tutorial section here where it says complete research, it says we need to bring paper to the school so that it can complete the research. And if we look down at the bottom right, I've still got the school selected. You'll see that we're researching woodworking, and it needs paper and a gold coin or a yellow coin and 2 seconds of time to research woodworking. And it needs to research woodworking 100 times, and then we'll have it. So let's take a worker. This is our worker that we dropped down earlier. We're going to hover over the lumber mill, and I'm just going to right click on the paper output. paper, and I want him to bring it all the way to the school. Boom. So he's going to take the road because he knows that's fastest. And so he's going to start delivering paper. And if we click on the school, we can see one research has already been achieved. So every time this guy delivers paper, we're going to get one additional research. So here he comes, drops it off. It does the research. Now we're at 2 out of 100. Okay, so that's going to take some time. To complete the research, school needs lots of paper. Okay, so while that guy is doing that, why don't we take advantage of some of the extra capacity that we have in terms of houses we can build and workers we can build and all of that. So let's do this. I'm going to drop another. Let's build the houses that we can build. Maybe we go to paths and we kind of lay out a little bit of a town here. Got a path there. I'm going to click on the M key to move a building, and I'm just going to move this house here. And let's build another house. So I do build, or I can just click on the house on my hotbar here. And I'm going to drop a house there. And then how about I rotate these guys and put a house here and another house here. And a footpath along here. Or how about like this? So those guys can get around. And now I've got, looks like 6 more workers I can build if I want. And let's get more people. Like it looks like the lumber mill can take more inputs. So let's drop some workers here. Boom, 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 boom. And let's get more people delivering wood to the lumber mill. Boom. And right click, left click, right, left click, right click, right click. So now we've got 4 more workers delivering wood to the mill, and that's going to help both with the paper and with the planks. And we can see our inventory, we're doing pretty good. So that upgrade, when we upgraded the base early on, that allowed us to go from 200 items total storage in the base to up to 400. And so we're starting to accumulate resources there. The other thing we can do while we're waiting for this school research to go, why don't we have 2 more workers, because we've got plenty of paper kind of backing up in the output. Let's have 2 more workers deliver that paper to the school and speed up our research. Okay, so now I've got 3 workers bringing paper from the lumber mill to the school. And looks like we're still, where are we at here? Let's click on the school. Okay, woodworking, we're only at 16 out of 100. So we got a little bit of time to kill, and I want to kill that time with you on the video instead of just kind of skipping ahead, because there's some more stuff we can do here. We've built all the houses we can. We can only have 8. But let's upgrade these all to level 2. So we've got right now 1,086 yellow coins, and we've got 167 planks saved up. Let's use some of that to upgrade these houses to level 2. So that's level 1. We'll crank that guy up to level 2. This one's level 1. We'll bring that guy up to level 2. That one's level 1. We'll bring him up. And that one. And that one. And that one. Okay. So now we've got all our houses upgraded to level 2. And we're not going to be able to take them up to level 3 until we are able to produce stone bricks. And that's going to require the stonemason. So right now we're researching woodworking. But once we're done with woodworking, we're going to research the masonry, and that's going to unlock the stonemason, and the stonemason is going to allow us to have bricks. And once we have the bricks, we can think about upgrading these houses. Let's take a look at the base. The base, in order to upgrade it, it needs the stone bricks, which we're going to produce down the road, and then wood wheels, which we don't have yet. So that's the wood wheels are going to be produced by the workshop. And that's, if we go to the school, the woodworking is going to give us that. The woodworking is going to allow us to unlock the workshop. And then we can build those wheels and do the upgrades. Okay, so right now I've got 12 potential workers that could be doing stuff, and they're not. So what else can we drop some workers down to do? It looks like the grain mill can take a lot more grain than it's getting. So let's drop a few workers here. Let's drop 4 down and get more of these guys producing grain for the grain mill. Okay, so now if we look at the grain mill, we should see more grain being produced. More grain coming in. And it's such a short trip to the market that doesn't look like it's going to back up. So we're in good shape there. And let's look at our planks. So our lumber mill could actually use some more wood probably. So we've got the workers. So why don't we take a couple more workers and drop them down here, and maybe have these guys chop some of this wood and bring it to the lumber mill. All right. And then we've got a worker here sitting here still. He wants to deliver logs to storage, but we're already all filled up on logs, so it can't hold anymore. So he's just waiting for some storage to free up. And similarly, if I swing around here, we've got 2 guys that are harvesting stone, but they don't have anywhere to put it. So they're kind of waiting on storage to free up as well. But we still have room for 200 more planks. So these guys are all working on bringing wood to the lumber mill and producing those planks. Now we can see that the paper is still kind of backing up here. So because it's kind of a long trip, why don't we grab 2 more workers and have them deliver paper to the school. That'll speed up our research. All right. So you'll notice if I click on any building, it will highlight, the game will highlight all of the workers that are moving to or from that building. So if you want to see who's all involved in bringing things to the school, you can just select the school and these guys will all light up. Now this guy's kind of taking a slow route. What I can do, since we have tons of extra logs, I can just put a dirt path here. And maybe even here for these guys. And that'll speed things up as well. Maybe even here. Here. And you can see our potatoes are being harvested, and eventually they're going to disappear. Later on, we're going to be able to build farms and produce more potatoes. Same thing with our grain. We're depleting it slowly. Once we do, there is some more grain over here. It's a little bit farther away, but we can harvest that, and then down the road we can build farms and then have all the produce we want. And there's some grain down here we can leverage. Over here we've got berries. We could be collecting those and dropping them off at the market. I've got 4 more workers, so why not just put 2 on there? Doop, doop. And we will collect these berries and bring those to the market. And collect berries and bring those to the market. All right, here we go. We got the research done. So it's telling us again what we've unlocked. We got the barn, and that's mainly for storage, and that counts as your general inventory. So anything in the barn can be used for upgrades automatically. There's a building here called a crate, which is kind of a local, like a local storage building. I guess, I don't know if I'll call it a building, but you can build crates and then have your workers drop stuff off at the crate, and then other workers can kind of pick up from the crate and drop things off. And then we've got the workshop. That's the big guy that we want to get built soon, and that's going to help us proceed down the upgrading path. The chute, we'll see what that does. It's a way of transporting resources, so your workers don't have to walk all the way to and from the raw resource. And then we've got a wagon, which will transport items from a building to another building. So these guys, you can't send them to collect raw resources, but if you need to transport things between buildings, these are really useful. So this will come in handy for delivering that paper that right now we have all those workers doing, and it'll hold more than the workers. So it says can quickly carry multiple items between buildings, especially on roads, but cannot harvest natural resources. So basically just said that. All right. So now let's see. I'm going to unclick that. Somehow I brought up that menu. And let's see. So we completed the research. So let's advance the tutorial and see how far we go on this. Okay, victory conditions. Each campaign map has specific goals. Completing them will unlock the next map. Follow the prompts to open the victory conditions menu or hit the V key to view the goals for this map. Okay, so basically it looks like they're going to stop holding our hands and say, hey, you can click on this victory conditions to see what's left to do on this map if you want to, quote unquote, finish this particular campaign. So let's just follow what it's prompting us to do. We'll click on menu. Or we'll click on, what is this? All right, let's resume. And I'm hovering over menu and this little arrow shows up. I'm going to click that guy. It's kind of odd. And this gives me research, goods, supply, production, shared inventory, worker overview, and victory conditions. So each of these screens is going to show us kind of a dashboard of what's happening. So right now, if I hover over this and I select research, it's going to bring open this research dialog, which shows me that, hey, it's available for me to research masonry and I'm not doing it yet. And then it shows that I've completed woodworking and it's not actually showing me what research is locked, but it will down the road. So let's click on victory conditions and see what it takes to finish this particular tutorial. And it says we need to get our base upgraded to level 3. And when we clicked on the base and we saw that, hey, to upgrade it from level 2, we need 100 coins. That's easy. We got it. We need 10 wood wheels, and those are produced by the workshop. We're probably going to build that next. And then we also need 20 of these stone bricks. And so for that, we need to research the stonemason, build the stonemason, and then build those 20 bricks. And then we can upgrade the base. Let's see what else. Then we need a food market. We got that done. Grain mill, we have that done. Workshop, we're going to build that next. And then stonemason, we're going to research for that. And then we're going to build that. And once we do that, then we have completed this campaign. So let's go build the workshop. The victory conditions, we can click off of this on the tutorial. I think it's going to leave us alone at this point. And a tutorial. This is the end of the tutorial. Soon you will unlock many new technologies and gadgets to automate and optimize your production chains. Good luck. Check out the help menu anytime for more information. All right. So let's just round this one out. What we got to do now is let's get the research going. So the school is hovering with the question mark, letting us know that, hey, we're not doing anything. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to select recipe and I'm going to go masonry. Boom. And then you'll see all these workers are going to collect paper. Let's build the workshop next. And you'll see that on my hotbar, it's going to unlock the things that I'm able to do here. So here's workshop. I can select it here, or I can go into the build menu, buildings. I can see all the stuff I can build. So there's a lot more I can build now. Since we completed that research, and let's pick workshop. It's going to take 10 stone and 10 planks, and we're way ahead of the game on both of those. So boom. In the workshop, where should we put it? We know it's going to use planks. So I guess I can drop it right here. So that's pretty close. And then again, it automatically took a worker from us. So I've got one left that I can assign. Getting a production bonus of 20%. So our happiness has gone up. Because two things are reasons why our happiness went up. One, we're delivering berries. And so the houses are getting more different products that they like. So they're happier. If we click on any of the houses and then click on happiness or hover over the happiness, we can see kind of what they're consuming. So this is showing that these are all the different foods that they want and can consume. There's apples, pears, potatoes, which we are providing. So it says +1. Carrots, which we're not. Flour or grain. And so we're producing that. So we're getting a happiness out of that. And then berries, we're getting a happiness out of that. So all the houses, so you multiply that times 8, and that'll equal the total happiness. And as it hovers between 19 and 20, our production bonus will vary. So watch as these guys deliver their grapes. This is probably going to go up to, or berries, they're probably going to go up to 20. And then we'll see the production bonus go up. So let's just see. All right, they're delivering. And, well, doesn't look like it. So right now we're hovering between 10 and 20%. Okay, so our workshop. Let's pick a recipe. Select recipes. There's only one available right now. It's the wooden wheel. And it's showing that it's going to take 2 planks and 5 seconds. And it will produce a wooden wheel. So let's go ahead and build it. Now I need to get planks. I need to get planks to the workshop. So I've got planks being produced here. I've also got a bunch in the base. So I've got 332 in the base. So I can either take them from the lumber mill or I can take them from the base. If I look at the lumber mill, it looks like we're already backing up on the output here. So I'm just going to take them from the lumber mill. And since these guys are so close to each other, one worker might just do it. So I'll drop down a new worker, left click, right click, give me the planks and drop them off the workshop. Boom. And so now this guy's going to start filling up with planks pretty quick. This guy's going to produce wagon wheels. I already produced one. And now I need a place to put those. I'm going to put them in my base, but I need somebody to do it. And right now you'll see I've got 36 out of 36 workers already assigned. So I need to either upgrade a house, which I can't do yet, upgrade my base, which will allow me to add new houses, which I can't do yet, or I need to delete a worker. So what I'm going to do is, since we've got 400 stone, I'm going to take one of these workers, which I know are just sitting here. I take one of them and I'm just going to reassign him over here. And I'm going to say, you go ahead and take these wooden wheels and bring them into storage. And that's your new job. Let's see. Wood wheels into storage. So the first thing I need to do is get rid of his inventory. And I'm not sure how I can do that. There is a way. Let's see. Or a quicker way is I can just delete him. I hit the delete key. Boom. And then I drop him back in. Boom. Now he doesn't have that item. So let's take that. And go ahead and pick up the wooden wheels and drop them off here. All right. So now if we look at our base, well, now we're starting to store the wooden wheels. So let's see, where are we at? We are researching right now. We're researching the masonry. We're pretty close. We've only got 8 more research to go. And once that's done, we can build the masonry. And that'll get us the stone bricks that we need to upgrade everything. And so if we take a quick look at those victory conditions again, we just built the workshop, so that's done. We still got to upgrade the base, and we need the stonemason. All right, here we go. Masonry, done. You get a new building unlocked, which is a stonemason. That's going to allow us to build those stone bricks. The road, we use stone bricks to build the roads, and that just allows our workers and carts later on to travel faster. And then there's a stone wall, which I think is just for aesthetics. There's no real enemies to fight or keep out. But if you want to make your factory town look prettier, you've got options to do that. And we'll unlock more and more of those things as it goes on. And this is the road ramp is another structure for the roads to keep things moving. Stone bridge allows you to go over water. And then the stone arch, we're going to get to that in one of the later tutorials. So let's just accept this. Now we need to build that stonemason. So we've got it right here for the stonemason if you look towards my hotbar. But just out of curiosity, I've got a bunch of workers here queuing up because they're ready to deliver paper and the school isn't researching anything. So if I select recipe for this tutorial, they're saying there's nothing left that I am allowed to research. So once I upgrade the base, maybe I'll be able to. But right now, these workers, they don't have anything to do. So what I'm going to do instead, I'm going to have these guys. I'm going to just take these guys off the map here. Delete, doop, delete, 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 because I don't really need any more paper being delivered because I'm not researching anything. And now I just noticed that our workers delivering grain are out of grain. So let's send these guys. Let's send this guy over to here, grab some grain and deliver it to the mill. Grab grain, deliver it to the mill. You two grab some grain and deliver it to the mill. Boom. And I think there's another one over here who's kind of sitting. Let's see. He is, if I click on him, not that guy, this guy. What is he doing? What is he doing? Let's just see. So if I click on these show idle workers, boom. I've got this guy who is delivering grain to the mill. Where is he? Is that him? I'm pretty sure it's this guy right here. Boom. Boom. Sometimes these guys are hard to select. All right. Let's get him to also collect some grain and deliver it here. And we got one more here. He can collect some of this grain and deliver it to the mill. All right, so now we need to get that stonemason going. We got a bunch of stone over here. It seems like it makes sense to build it there. So let's grab the stonemason and I'll just drop it right, boom. Just like all our other production buildings, got to pick a recipe. Just click on the stonemason, click on select recipe. I've only got one option here. So for every 3 rocks, it takes 4 seconds and I get a stone brick. So boom, we'll do that. Now we've got to get somebody to deliver stone bricks or deliver stone to the stonemason. I've got 4 workers I freed up. So let's grab 2 of these guys. Boom, boom. And have them deliver stone straight to the stonemason. Boom, boom, boom. Once the stonemason produces bricks, I need to put those in storage as well. So let's grab a worker, drop him down, and have him pick up the stone, right click and right click. All right, so now we look at our shared inventory and we can see that we're collecting stone bricks and we've got tons of wood wheels already. If I go back to the victory conditions, what it takes to complete this tutorial, I built a stonemason, or we built it, so we're good there. And now I just need to get my base to level 3 and we'll be done. So let's go to the base. And to upgrade it, we need 100 coins. We've got 1900, so we're in good shape there. I need 10 wood wheels and we've got 48, so we're in good shape there. And I need 20 stone bricks and I've got 6. We just need to wait for these to be produced. And we'll be done with this tutorial. So let's see. What else? I believe once we upgrade the base, we'll be able to unlock more research at the school and more production buildings. But for now, let's just see. What else can we do? We're just about done with this map. So we'll wait for these guys to produce. When I click on the market, incidentally, I click on the market, it shows what the happiness level is for all the houses and everything that the market is connected to. So right now we're at 18. If we were going to stay on this map, then I would probably put in some pathing here to speed this up. I guess I can while we're waiting. And then those workers will move a little bit faster. All right, we need 5 more bricks. 5 more stone bricks. We got plenty of coins. And in the later tutorials, we'll get to, hopefully we'll get to explaining what these red coins, blue coins, and purple coins are. As we produce more advanced products and sell them either at the market or other stores that we're going to unlock and be able to build, we'll get coins of these more advanced types, and they will unlock or help us unlock new research and more technologies and kind of move down the tech tree. All right, here we go. We've got our base is got the arrow floating saying, hey, it's time to upgrade. So let's do it. We'll click upgrade. Boom. All right, victory. We completed this first campaign. So we'll just click go. And I'm going to say keep playing just to show you what we unlocked by doing that. And if I go to the school now and I do select recipe, okay, it looks like I don't see any new researches that we can do. So maybe this map may be just locked down because it doesn't look like there's anything new that we're going to be able to unlock. But you can see that the storage has increased and now we're going to be able to store more than 400 items. Not sure if it goes up to 500 or 600. But yeah, that's it for this first tutorial. Hopefully it helps you get a feel for the game and, learn some of the introductory concepts. And I'm going to continue on with the next campaign in the next video. So I hope to see you there. All right, it's the Glidercat signing off.